Hey everyone, this is Corey with Stafford ZDC, and today we are taking a look at the Kizer Submarine. It's a weird one, isn't it? Get a good look at this guy before I talk about it a little more. You have G10 handles, steel liner. You have 9CR, 18 MOV for your blade steel. Overall length of 7.4 inches. Blade length of 3 1/4, and a handle length of just over 4 inches at 4.15. And you have some fairly robust blade stock, standard, I guess, rather than robust at 0.12, so just a hair under 1/8 of an inch for your blade stock. So let's talk about this knife here. This is an interesting one, design-wise. You can kind of see the submarine. It's inspiration. I kind of get it. Like if I covered this, I kind of see like a speedboat, like a yacht shape almost. Like this is the window coming up from like where like the captain's seat would be. It's like your front windshield, and then there's like a port area in the back. It's I hope you can see what I'm talking about. Like the I think it's the bow of the ship, be the front. Yeah, I think the stern is the rear. I don't know my nautical terms well. Now you'd think I would, because I'm certified to boat in multiple states, any state that honors Floridian boating licenses anyway. But it's been a long time, so I don't quite remember all of the terms. But I hope you see what I'm seeing there. But nevertheless, this isn't called the yacht. There's a different model called the yacht. This one, though, is the submarine. And it is a weird one. It's just odd. Ergonomically speaking, it's a little on the smaller side for my hand, but just enough at being just over 4 inches. The full handle length is, you don't get use of that whole handle length. You're only getting, you're losing almost 1 inch of handle length from where this finger area ends to the top of the handle, which I believe is what they're measuring as the full handle length, because it's just enough for like 3.5 fingers underneath it, and there's no area to choke up where you could take advantage of that full handle. Now, if the flipper tab wasn't there, you could see you have a full grip with no problem. But for me, with my large size hands, my pinky goes on there, and the tip of my pinky lands on it. But it's kind of a 3.5 finger knife. I definitely don't have room to play around much, excuse me. The grip, though, is fine as well in a saber grip as it is in a hammer grip. No big issues there. Get a little bit of squeezing on my hand from the edge of this flipper tab, but it's pretty well rounded off, and that's just a hand size thing. I don't think if you had smaller hands and smaller fingers, you'd have much of a problem there in that type of hammer grip. Now, the grind on this is flat, and due to the thick blade stock and the fairly short grind, this does not get extremely slicey. It's tough to show this off. But that being said, this did still cut pretty well. You have a decent overall height to the blade, and having this fuller in here as well as the hole helps keep this moving through materials without creating too much drag, which is really nice that you're able to do that. I don't see this listed as part of Kizer's Laconic series, but I realize I didn't mention price yet. This is only $43 as I'm looking at it on Blade HQ. So that is a pretty good price for a knife like this. You got bearings with a really good detent on this guy. This one just wants to shut itself. Just getting the hand out of the way, you can see how that closes itself. Just with gravity. Really nice. The thumb hole works really great, whether it's for your thumb or if you want a reverse flick. The detent is excellent on this one. Now, I can't promise they'd all be like that because this is a cheap knife, but this one is a really great example. Cutting performance wise, like I said, it doesn't get tremendously thin behind the edge, but it's still cut fairly well because of these other design features. I didn't have much trouble getting through cardboard or notice any kind of dragging due to those, which is really nice. As I mentioned, the action and the detent are both really good on this. You have that excellent bearing action with great detent that's not overly strong, but feels really nice on the flick. And you can hear just how aggressive that is versus the flipper tab. It's in person it's slightly different, and it's got a little more pop to it when it's flicked from the hole. It might be hard to pick up on camera, but that is something that I really enjoy about this. The overall design being as funky as it is, I kind of dig it. If you really didn't like it, you could always, modify this. But I would leave it as is. It's a neat piece, and if you don't like it, just don't buy it. It's a $43 knife. It's not a knife everybody needs, but it's a knife that pretty much everybody can access, which is cool to see. Because this one's fairly well done from Kizer. I'm gonna keep this one pretty short and wrap it up here. The overall thoughts on this guy are that, being a cheap budget knife from Kizer, it's well done. That's not too much of a surprise. But this example specifically with the great detent and the really great action is an awesome thing to see, and I hope that every other one out there is just like this one. Let me know your thoughts down below on the Submarine, whether you agree with my design observations of the speedboat kind of look, and whatever else you might be thinking down below. Thanks again for watching. I hope you have a great rest of your day, and take care.